amazing. Nice to pick up a Karuga as well. Right, well let's play some Yorion Jeskai. So Yorion Jeskai is 80 card control, because if there's one thing I hate with my decks, it's getting rid of cards. So Yorion is the companion. You have to start with at least 20 cards more, and Yorion basically flickers everything. Which is pretty solid with the likes of Agent of Treachery and Elspeth, and resetting Planeswalkers and Omens. And honestly, I haven't noticed like that much of a downgrade from playing with 20 extra cards. Like, it's definitely odd, but there you go. But I'm enjoying this deck. I'm loath to keep something with 2 green drawers in it, but 2 lands, a Meletis and Omen of the Sea is not awful. And if we're against a mono-red deck, which early in the format is a good possibility, then this will horribly backfire. Opponent is on 6. Fabled Passage, so probably not mono red. Ooh. Oh, that's nice. This fixes our mana quite nicely. I mean, this is I'm definitely enjoying this list. Like, it's got a lot of power and a lot of fun to it. And like, I was already playing blue-white control quite a lot towards the end of Feral Standard. And this basically gets Narset, which is another way to finish the game, and like Neutralize is a nice upgrade. Tail's End is a concession to the fact that there's a lot of companion decks out there. And yeah, it's going to be curious to see just how big the impact of these companions is going to be on standard. Like, I feel in Eternal formats it's a lot more problematic. I'm just going to play this Triome tapped for now. Like, there's a case to try and resolve Teferi, but like into that mana feels like something could go wrong. Like, there's a lot of people trying out flash decks, for example. Okay, Narset. Narset's okay. Tail's End is actually... So this is just another Jeskai control deck. Tail's End is pretty decent because it hits Planeswalkers. And we're going to get Teferi down now, which is quite nice. Absorb. So let's shut down that Absorb. Plussing because there's red, there's every chance there's like Omen of the Forge or a Shock or a Stomp. So, you know, why risk it? I was hoping they wouldn't have their own Teferi, because if we if we untapped for another turn, we would have got to Tail's End it. And yeah, if I were them, I would just drop it straight away too.
I know my responsibility. This might be a bad idea.
Let's get blue. Agent of Treachery. That will be quite nice at some point.
Let's try this.
So yeah, we've got quite a nice sequence here. We get to start playing Dream Trawlers. Is this going to be Elspeth Conquer's deck? It is. So yeah, we get to start playing Dream Trawlers, and then hopefully into Agent of Treachery. Although not having a Teferi now is a pain, to say the least. With that said, we get to resolve a green crawler. Definitely don't want these Leafy Gusts. We get to resolve a green crawler. The only thing that will really get us here is if they've got a Shatter the Sky, which would be unfortunate. But even if they do, then we've got another green crawler because I have to tap out a bit for that Shatter. And we're definitely killing Narset first. And I can just get the Narset back, which is unfortunate, but... Bouncing Elspeth Conquers Death. Okay, that's actually quite nice. Because now if the Green Claw survives, it's harder for them to loop Narset. So they're just going for this. Oh, they're going to try and discard it. And we are kind of like losing a bit in card advantage here, to be fair, but that's okay. And if they target something, then we discard this Tail's End because it's kind of losing value quickly. Gain some life. You can also just kill Teferi here, which would be... I think I'd just do on my extra card draw. I'm not going to play the second Green Crawler for Shatter the Sky purposes. Could possibly have played Narset there, to be honest. But I don't know. So next time, try and kill Teferi. It's possible they have another Narset, but well, they Shatter the Sky. And we've got Absorb for one thing, so.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
What do we want to get countered? Probably Narset. I'm happy to get Narset countered. And Tail's End might hit something. It's unlikely. Yeah, this is why Narset's really good in Control Mirror, because that's so quick to ultimate.
That's more like it.
In hindsight, I probably should have... Is that an activated? I don't know if I could have actually... Yeah, I have no idea if I could have countered that or not. So I assume this gets countered. If it doesn't, that's amazing for me. Mystical Dispute. Yeah, I think that... It's not really giving... I know I couldn't have done it because it's... That's why I couldn't have done it. Because I figure it would have given me the option to, but I can't do it because it's a fairy, so... yeah, we need to kind of hope they run out of counter spells. I don't like them shocking themselves though. That's a bad sign. And yeah, let's just... Yorion's not going to have much value out of here, so if we can get it countered, then sure. I mean, they can Elspeth Conquer's Deficit, but like I kind of want them to try and tap out to land Dream Trawler or an Agent of Treachery, but we're quite far behind at this point. And of course, it can be quite hard to tell because we're in best of three, so they might similarly just be sat on a bunch of like Aether Gusts that don't do anything. They keep shocking, which kind of implies that they do have like lots of things to do in hand. Okay, I'm definitely surprised by not just killing that. So they must have something here, like an instant speed Wrath, I guess. Oh, inspired ultimatum. Do you have absorb? If you don't have absorb, I have Dovin's veto. Well, we get to drop Dreamcrawler here. Fine, it's very likely they will have found an answer to it. Oh, they set a mana for dispute. Okay, well. They were more prepared for that than I was. So we can get rid of the Deafening Clarions. Probably get rid of the Omens of the Forge. I want the Veto. I want Ashiok. Maybe. Definitely want the Spyglasses. I want the Dispute. And I would probably want the Archons as well. Anything not great here. Oh, the Aethergusts are terrible. I don't actually hit anything. Essence Scatter might not be horrible. I guess it's opposing Green Trawlers, so. I mean, the Essence Scatters aren't great, but this has lands, and it has a Mystical Dispute, and it has some stuff. It's one of those keeps that, like, pros probably don't fuck around with. And guess Mulligan, but oh well. This is how we learn early in a format. Like, I'm very interested to see like what other directions you can take this in. Because at the moment the red's just for the Omens and the Yo, computer, there we go. Because at the moment the red's just for the Omens and the Narsets. Feels like you could potentially like mix up the mana base a bit more and do some spicy things like Royal Scions. Cool. The reason I held on to the Narset is specifically so we can protect it with a Mystical Dispute. Because we need to find good cards. I mean, Mystical Dispute makes these matchups really annoying. Because, I mean, actually it won't hit Elspeth Conquer's Death, so it's just having to play around the 1 mana counter spell. This becomes relevant at all points. But we're in decent nick here. And it is the unfortunate like side effect of the control mirror.
Let me demonstrate the prowess of my ancestors.
Do you still get to discard off this against Narset? Yes, you do. There's a shatter discard gone.
Such violence is upsetting.
But yeah, here's my frustration. Is like a Mystical Dispute will now shut this play down. But yeah, I mean, it's one of the reasons I hate Teferi is it makes control mirrors really, really dull. Purely because
Stand by and watch. Here we go.
you just kind of sat there like the counterspell element of my deck doesn't do anything anymore. What am I getting back? I'm getting back a Narset, and then I can not quite kill this Teferi. I should have done that in response.
I have practiced against many foes. Breathe in. Exhale.
Well, two can play at this game. And I get to play a Sorcerer's Spyglass for yours. Except that doesn't actually... It will turn off my Teferi as well, so actually I'm going to do Castle Thantress. Bounce this back to hand.
I have a plan.
Put thoughtfulness before action.
So they can cast this ultimatum. I guess it depends what they want to kill with it. Do they still get the cards? No. Okay, so that was just a deal 5. And that will be enough. Okay, the Spyglasses may not actually be great in this context anymore, but what else am I playing out of this? Like, the Omens kind of do stuff. And what else does this shut off? That doesn't shut off in our deck as well. Yeah, maybe the Forge is better. They can hit player and they can hit Planeswalker, so it's at least a scry 2. The weird problem with playing an 80 card deck is that you've already got a few silver bullets in your deck to begin with. Shark Typhoon seems like... I only got the one of them at the moment. Like, in the control mirror this seems like it will end up being the best card because... It's not great, but I think it's fine. Like, typically in a control mirror, like, no matter what the format, if control is viable, I will at least dedicate like 1 or 2 spots to like the classic, like, this is uncounterable and has protection in some like annoying way, shape or form. Oh, they went on the draw. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like, I like going on the play in control mirrors just because I think winning the land battle is really key, because this means like I'll have a chance at the first like player key thing backed up by Mystical Dispute. Like shell game. But yeah, like Shark Typhoon fills that because like you can't counter cycling. You're on a slow hand. You can't counter cycling. If you get to resolve this, you will just win. Opponent's thinking about something. Like Brazen Borrower? But yeah, I mean, the challenge of having 80 cards is kind of like, what do you pack in? Because it does mean you've got more space for, like, you feel less bad about your situational cards like Aethergust. Which I'm not keeping any just for the ultimatums and Narset, because the problem with these instances is like a Teferi just means you're sat there with a bunch of counterspells that don't do anything. Missing the land drop here is pretty brutal. Like I have always been an advocate for the fact that in control mirrors you absolutely want to be the person who wins the land battle, because I'm not even going to try and counter that because it's very clearly got a dispute behind it.
That's more like it.
I mean, perhaps he should go for it anyway because it's going to become useless, but... Let's see what reaction this draws. Get rid of an omen of the forge. And yeah, we're not getting rid of this Teferi anytime soon, so disputes are kind of pretty crap at this point. So kind of surprising main phase omen. Must really be digging for something to do that. I mean, I have to assume there's still a counter in hand.
I'll protect you.
And this was one of the reasons to actually keep the forge, was it would potentially allow us to do this, but I discarded an Narset. Well, I'm going to start the cavalcade of mowing through these counter spells. Starting with Yorion, because it does have the least value in this matchup. Yeah, they did have the dispute the whole time. And I just think of in this matchup, Yorion is just going to be basically like 5 mana, remove a counter spell from target opponent's hand. So there's another mystical dispute.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
The Meletus isn't horrendous, because I kind of want to draw ahead on lands, so we can start running stuff in knowing we can pay for a mystical dispute and make them work, rely on their hard counters. But man, this is a difficult situation. It's a real shame because control mirrors are typically like really enjoyable and engaging matchups to play. But once there's a Teferi down on either side, it kind of becomes fairly fundamental. Like, we currently have like 2 dead cards, and we can't possibly win a counter war. Just ain't no good. Because this is, I mean, they could potentially have Dovin's veto here. Oh, wow, they're main phasing a lot of stuff here. Which I'm not sure I agree with. They only have 1 mana up, right? So they... I'm going to play the land first, because the only thing I can think of that would get us here is Spell Pierce. Which is in the format. I think it is, at least. I've been Spell Pierced in some format recently. And we've got a chance if they have another Teferi of vetoing it on the way down. But we need to deal with this Narset next. Because the Narset emblem is hard to beat. And it's possible we should have just killed the Narset there. I mean, they've got a mystical dispute. It can't hit the veto, so they'll have to use an absorb for this. Okay, that's a relief. Shark Typhoon is very hard to beat. Ooh, okay. We might be in business here. Oh, if we had 1 more land, we could Agent of Correction with Dispute back up. I think what we need to do, we need to Narset. they have to hard pay for their dispute. Which we can actually just pay for. So I'm going to save my dispute. And then we're going to get rid of our Agent of Treachery, kill this Narset, and then our Elspeth Conquers Death will return the Agent of Treachery. It can get interrupted by an Elspeth Conquers Death for a Conquer's Death on a Conquer's Death. But if they don't have a way of getting rid of that, then the Agent of Treachery becomes a big deal. Unfortunately, they do have it. But that's okay. Because we now do have them on the ropes of it.
Sorry I'm late.
Enlightenment begins within.
Mystical Dispute's fairly useless here. So I'm going to cast the Archon as a bit of pressure. Like, we know they've got Narset blank blank. They are going to get a Narset back soon. But let's pressure them to have a Shatter the Sky or something. Well, it's still definitely not out of the woods. Oh, Whirlwind of Thought. Okay, so this is... They've kind of moved into like a tap-out control deck here. 4/4. I mean, I'm not sure I like this play, if I'm completely honest with you. So they're going to get something back out of this. I'd prefer if it was a Narset than... Actually, how much do I care if they get a Sarkhan back? Not a great deal.
I've got it.
Well, we have ways of dealing with that.
What's this? Impossible.
I definitely want to have a Dream Crawler down. Oh, right. Man, I hate static abilities on Planeswalkers. Okay, so I think if we can fade Shatter the Sky, we're in pretty decent nick. Dreamcrawler will hopefully run away with the game fairly quickly. I mean, it isn't drawing the extra cards, but it's still a pretty big threat. This Whirlwind of Thought is very annoying, however. Makes me wonder if I should have it in my sideboard, but... Okay, well that's one Narset down. And if they minus, that's another Narset down. Okay, Mystical Dispute doesn't do anything. So again, if we can fade Shatter the Sky, then I think we're in good place. Our Narset is dead, but that's okay because we're drawing another Narset. Oh no, they killed our Teferi. Well, that's more annoying. Man, this Whirlwind of Thought is doing work. Are they going to try and get rid of Green Crawler? Oh, they got rid of our Narset. I'm completely fine with that. Then they played that. Okay, well let's kill some Planeswalkers. Let's play our Narset. And this is a race against time because they are drawing a lot of cards.
Victory is just another puzzle to be solved. Strike with the cunning mind of the dragon.
And Tail's End is actually, like, potentially a really big deal. We can't cast it this turn, but we could counter that Elspeth Conquer's Death Trigger. Okay, well, them drawing 5 is not great for us.
How overwhelming.
That's actually pretty bad for us. I've got to wonder what point Mill becomes viable.
This is a fight you can win.
Bouncing? Not great draws. That's the problem, we still have 23 lands in this deck. One of the problems of playing 80. What would be best to draw here? I mean, another green crawler is quite nice.
Only time will tell.
Okay, I'm not playing the other green crawler because I have to play out everything to get the to get around the mystical dispute. And also if they do have Shatter the Sky, then that's just bad. I mean, we're going to need something pretty spectacular to win from this phase. So I should be able to counter this, right? As a triggered ability? And that's my understanding. Okay, well we got a Dovin's Veto out for that. I mean, the Whirlwind of 4 is... that is a nightmare to deal with.
Demonstrate the prowess of my ancestors.
Okay, and this is why we didn't play the other green crawler. So yeah, I do think our best hope now is opponent mills, or we are able to land a massive Shark Typhoon.
To open the mind, you must first open the heart.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try this. So down to 17 cards. So down to 17 cards, we're at 38, and the best way of winning is a Narset Emblem. We do have basics we can still get, right? But yeah, I think that's our best hope, is they mill out. I mean, I really wasn't expecting that green crawler to live. And they get the Narset Emblem here, which is fair. But for the Narset Emblem to do enough damage to us, it needs to trigger 19 times, which means they will mill out before that works. Now, the one thing that does kind of... So, this is an interesting situation to say the least. I mean, we don't have many fantastic draws. I mean, the best draw for us would be somehow if we could resolve Ashiok. But we've seen no creatures. We have seen no Dream Crawlers or Archons. Now, I mean, like double Narset emblems, that would be
This is my ultimate technique.
trickier to deal with, but like they do have to worry about the self-mill here.
My prowess.
And they'll be getting to know most of their library.
Meditate.
And even then, like, if they don't find like a Shattered Sky or something to deal with this here... Ooh, commence the endgame, that's a good one. Because at this point you have to assume they can... Well, I would have thought they'd been able to cancel Dreamcrawler, but... But yeah, commence the endgame is tricky. Okay, so here's Narset number 2.
Honor the past by bringing tradition.
Another draw discards. Down to 10 cards. Okay, well the fact that they just discarded a Inspired Ultimatum makes me think they are aware of the fact that they do not want to draw 5. And if they play Commence the Endgame, that tells me they don't really have a Shattered... Well, they haven't played... They're holding up Commence the Endgame, but it does kind of tell me, like... It kind of screams, I do not have Shatter the Sky at the moment. The Narset's really annoying here. Oh, Spectral Sailor? People sideboard this in control matchups and I really don't like it. Okay, that's fine for me because that's 4 more life gains. That's 2 more non-creature spells I have to hit. Commence would actually put them down 3 cards. And I have to wonder how many cards are dead at this point in their hand. So there's like 4, 5, so there's 4, 7, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 14 lands there. So you got to think there's probably at least 10 lands amidst all this. Yeah, Elspeth Conquers Death is annoying. Ah, I should have done the Hexproof before that resolved. I mean, the Commence the Endgame is the most threatening thing. Because that can actually end the game in decent order. Down to 36. So they still have Commence mana up. How many Shatter the Skies have they had? Must be an exile, right? Or it's like 1. I've got to figure there's another Shatter the Sky in there somewhere.
Here we go.
Like, there's just got to be.
With thoughtfulness before action.
Although I'm beginning to think they're just drawing too many cards. Because even if they commence, that's gonna hit. That's gonna be 3 more cards gone. And the Challenger, I don't think. The Challenger's annoying, but I don't think it really changes the math. And it can kill the Dreamcrawler here, I think.
If you haven't heard of me, then get ready to meet my blade. Get out of my
They're down to 5 cards.
You know, don't.
They could still have Dovin's Veto mana as well. I mean, Ashiok would have been pretty superb there. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out if they can win in time.
No pressure.
They've got 4 draw steps to do it. I don't think they can do it.
Might be a bad
I really don't.
To open the mind, you must.
Well, I just don't think they can deal 34 damage. Not only can they not deal that amount in that time, but Just the fact that it's the Whirlwind of Thought is actually going to kill them. Incidentally, apart from Shark Typhoon, Castle Ardenvale was the best possible draw there. Oh no, Sarkhan. Sarkhan could actually do it. I did not see Sarkhan there. So that's 4, 8, 16. Ah, Sarkhan will do it, I think. Damn it. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Okay, well, I somehow need to hope they don't have a counterspell and I draw Ashiok, or something that can deal with the Sarkhan.
Oh, I've done the
Ah, so close. Don't think we're getting there though. Oh, that's brutal. There's something horrible about when you think you're going to win off milling and then you just don't get there. Oh, that doesn't quite stop it. And the Spectral Sailors are... I mean, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I just have to hope my opponent somehow plays a... Like, what I really needed there was some sort of count, and no... Oh, that's brutal. Oh man, that's brutal. No, I'm not playing Cycle Godzilla yet. Oh man. I don't know if we even have a Cycle Godzilla. It's a dinosaur turtle, I didn't remember that much. No, I don't have one yet. Maybe down the line. I mean, I'm curious to see what else can be done with this. But yeah, that last one's pretty brutal. I think the opponent pivoted to that tap out style and it paid off pretty well for him. But yeah, that'll just about wrap it up. And yeah, thanks for coming along, thanks for watching. Next stream is Monday. This is probably going to be more drafts, provided I don't use up all my resources before then. And yeah, have a good evening.